most recent was in 2007. That's the rally towels that you have are about college fans. College Fans is the world's largest online sports community. We have home pages for over 1,400 schools, Division 1, 2, and 3 in the NCAA, the NAIA, the NCCAA, the list goes on. We have over 20,000 individual sports pages. Probably, if you all sat down and figured it out, you can come up with a number pretty close to where we are. We have over 220,000 individual events listed that will be contested during the 2008-2009 school year. So we are kind of going back to where we started with ESPN. We took on the big three networks. There's some wonderful stories about those guys, and as we do the Q&A here, you might hear some of those. But we took those guys on, and now there are those who would say we're taking on the company that took those guys on, but that's not it at all. This is really an extension of what ESPN has done. ESPN pushes sports out by the bucket load, and we have created a site where college fans can come back and find one single source under one umbrella that covers over 1,400 schools in the country. So we're very excited about that, and you probably wonder why I keep doing this, and I think I'm addicted. Somebody said recently, at your age, you're too old to be an entrepreneur. You are really too old to be an entrepreneur. You can't do this. And I said, I'm just getting started. This is the fourth quarter. That's always the most exciting quarter, isn't it? I passed 75, so I can go do those kinds of things. So we, I don't know what I did. I think if I stopped and if you turn your brain off, what's left to do? So we are going to keep building college fans. We are going to various campuses. That was not the purpose for coming here tonight. James invited us to talk about some ESPN things, but we have campaigns underway at campuses and with conferences across the country. We are working with COSIDA, the College Information Sports Information Directors of America, to provide them with the ability to post live scores in progress on any sport: field hockey, volleyball, football, basketball, soccer, water polo. Makes no difference, they can do those things. So we're pretty excited about it, as you can tell. And I'm just excited to have so many of you come and exhibit interest in the entrepreneurial club here at Princeton. I think, as I've obviously demonstrated to you now, that this is probably the most exciting way you can spend your life. There are a lot of frustration, a lot of disappointments. But if you really, really believe that your idea is a great one, it's all in your hands. You know, you can hear all the lectures, you can hear all the books, and read all the manuals, and hear all the phrases, and I could talk about phrases with everybody else. But when it comes right down to it, when you really have an idea, the only thing you have that's in your hands, it's your idea, and with your two hands and your own mind, enthusiasm, your excitement, the electricity that you generate, have enough energy to follow through. You can't miss. The environment is here for you to do things, and I think it's just a wonderful way to go. But I could probably talk from now until you guys just all get up and leave. I don't want to do that. I want to hear from you and have whatever questions you have, whatever thoughts or comments or whatever. We're happy to talk. Yes, sir.
What's your background in sports that made you, obviously you love sports a lot. What's your background in
well, I have to go back. I'm a baseball nut to start with, okay? And I was reasonably quick and reasonably adept. I got to play in the 8th grade team when I was in 5th grade, that sort of stuff. Then I played for years. I actually quit when I played my last season when I was 49 years old. When I was in high school, I was fortunate enough the Detroit Tigers thought I might be able to play third base, but they forgot to tell me about those curveballs they throw. Couldn't hit the ball. I could catch it, but I couldn't hit it very well. So I did that in school. When I got out of the Air Force, I worked at Westinghouse for a while, and in 1963 began a career in sportscasting and radio. In Amherst, Massachusetts, moved to television in Springfield, Massachusetts, and from there to the Hartford Whalers, doing radio and television, and then ESPN. So I've been a sports nut At that time, I believe the FCC rule was you could get 20 seconds of a highlight anywhere. It's in the public domain. CBS didn't even want to give us that. They threatened to sue. So we had a very innovative gentleman as one of our senior producers. He had come over with Chet Simmons from NBC. Scotty Kyle is his name. He's a legend in the broadcast business. And he had a brilliant idea. And he said, this is going to cost us very little, and we're going to get all kinds of publicity. He got us some red warm-up jacket, windbreakers, really. And then on the back, we used to have this big elliptical logo that was just the 4 letters ESPN in red. Well, he put them on the back of a red jacket, reversed it out. It was a white logo, and he hired 6 or 8 people, and he said, I want you to get it. He got them press passes, sideline passes for CBS games. He said, I want you to look over your shoulder and see where the camera is, and just walk up and down the sideline and watch the play. And so no matter what CBS did, they could not do a game. That first weekend that we did this, they could not get ESPN out of their shop. It absolutely drove them crazy. We said, 20 seconds versus us going away, take your pick. Guess what? Suit went away, we got all kinds of cooperation with CBS. So, you know, that's not something we were going to find in a book anywhere. That's not something that somebody's going to write a note about. But somebody said, there's got to be a way we can break this. And that's what we did. And that happened time and time again. And in the first 8 or 10 years of the cable revolution, even NBC, who owned RCA, they were all owned by RCA, NBC didn't believe in moving their broadcasting to satellite until 2 years after we were on the air. They weren't convinced satellite communications were here to stay. Can you imagine that? Here's brother NBC and brother RCA America, and they didn't believe these guys were going to make it work. So when I say there's some really interesting stories about the network, there are some really interesting stories. And the people, many of those were not the top people, but the other people we worked with. They knew what was going to happen, and many of them came to work with ESPN. The major sports leagues early on, Pete Rozelle, do any of you remember the name Pete Rozelle from the NFL history books? He was the consummate gentleman, and he invited us early on, before we ever went on the air. We talked to him, and he was very serious, listened to us, said, I think this is going to work, and someday we'll be on ESPN. And it was a matter of years, but in fact, as you know now, they are on ESPN. ABC Monday Night Football, every time I hear that, you know, dun, 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 from ABC Monday Night Football, I can't believe that's on ESPN, but there it is. It's just it's been an amazing ride for ESPN, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Speaking about the major networks, how has ESPN now being a part of Disney and ABC, how has that changed the network, and do you think it has benefited?
How does it benefit the network?
Yeah, how's it changed the network, and do you think it's benefited?
Well, ABC now is ABC Sports. There is no more ABC Sports. It has. Are you familiar with the chronology that ABC bought ESPN, then Cap Cities bought ABC, then Disney bought Cap Cities? Along the way, they began experimenting with ESPN personalities. ABC said, "We'll let you kind of come in, and it's kind of like an audition. We'll let you try." Well, now it's in juxtaposition. It's ESPN Sports on ABC. It's kind of fun. But they have basically, ABC is really just a shell of the network at this point. They have no sports presence. Some of you may have read NBC is in the process of going to an all-news format and just getting out of all this other programming. The networks have really been, I think it's the death knell for the networks, cable television. ABC and ESPN with Disney, it's just a question of time. I think they like to keep the ABC brand around, but I don't think ABC itself is going to be doing much in a way other than some news that's not over any network.